Hey friends, welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Creative Kingship Event. Let me find myself here for a second and see what I do. So, we are in an event today. Alright, there I am. So, welcome in, friends. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it. And my husband might be coming in because I think he's wanting to show me something. So just an FYI. But I am. There's Miss Tanya. Thank you so much. Thank you for sprinkling me out. I appreciate that. And we're going to get started. So today's event is a crafter's choice event. And we're going to work on something maybe a little odd. But I had this idea in my head, and I thought, why not try it? So, that's what we're going to do. That is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to try something out here. Hey, handsome. Well, then I don't know. Alright, let me get... Here we go. Alright, so these are some sort of a doily that I have, and it looks almost like a little dress to me. So we're going to use these, and I also have these right here. These are, they're like a doll head that's on like a cardboard, and so I figured it might be cute if we attach them in some form or fashion here to the dress. So that's what we're going to work on. We might dirty her up because I want to make one like cute, and then I want to make one that's more grungy, kind of like for Halloween. So we're going to see how this goes. Obviously, never done this before, but that's what you know, is fun about doing a crafter's choice, is that you get to play and you can do whatever you think of doing. So now up after me is going to be Miss Raven from Craftifornia Dreaming. So make sure that you guys stay tuned for that. You can see all of today's crafters in the Creative Kingship Event Group. It is a free group, guys. So you can check it out. Okay. So let's try to trim this down just a little bit, because this is kind of like too far from the printed area. And so we're gonna do that. And all I'm doing is I'm trimming this down a little bit. What is everybody doing on today's hump day? It's hump day. Hump, 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 hump day. It's the middle of the week. And I know I'll be working on some shipping later. Hello there. Hello there, Miss Lisa. So Miss Lisa was on earlier from Fergie's Crafting Connection. She was actually on before me. And again, you can watch the replays on the Creative Kinship Event Group, okay? Thank you for sprinkling me out there. I appreciate that. So again, I don't really know how this is going to turn out, but we're going to try it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try this and see what we get. Now, because they are printed on one side, I am thinking of, you know, layering them over. So we shall see. Again, I'm just trimming these down because I don't like how much white is exposed. So we're going to do that. Now, I have no clue what these were for, or I don't know. What would you do with a doll head on cardboard? Hey there, Miss Connie. Welcome in, Mama Connie. How are you? So I'm just trimming these down because, like I said, I don't like all the white. And especially if I'm going to try to dirty one up to make it look a little on the, like a creepy doll, I definitely don't need all this white showing. So that's what we're doing. We're just cutting these down. How are you, dear? Hopefully you are having a blessed hump day. It is hot here. So we shall see if the weather stays that way, because we got some rain yesterday, but all it did was make the weather mad. Didn't do anything to really like cool down a whole lot. I really wish we would have us some fall-like weather, but that ain't happening, at least not anytime soon. Hey there, Miss Jody. Hey friend, how you doing? So, like I said, I'm planning on using these doll heads along with these. I'm probably thinking that these are more like a pot holder, and you have this to hold them, but they're really pretty. Very, very pretty. Like I said, I do like how they look. But we're going to attach these. We're going to attach these, and essentially this is going to be her dress, her body. Well, I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do her arms, or what am I going to do with it. Don't be eating off my plate. What's wrong with you? No, Mary. No. No. So, trying to think which side do I want facing upward. I guess it's this one. I'm going to try some E6000. Hopefully that's going to work, because I'm not sure what would hold it. It's going to be cute. Well, hopefully the storm is not too bad, and it will actually maybe help bring down some of that heat in your area. Because I know, that's what we all wish, right? Now, where did my E6000 go to? You know what? This is fabric, so let me use my Fabri-Tac or 3-in-1. I'm gonna use some of that, and yeah, we're gonna use some of this on it because it is fabric. So I figured this would be a fun way to, you know, use up something that would, you know, would have otherwise probably ended up in a dumpster somewhere. She's got some really pretty green eyes. This little doll head right here. Like I said, I think we'll make her double-sided. So no matter which way you look at it, right? Should I don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I might regret it, but we'll go ahead and do that and see how that does. Maybe I'll turn around and be like, nope, I don't like it, and take it all apart. Ah!
That's me, sorry. Working on something here.
I just know it went dark, that's all. Okay, so let me try to... I'm gonna hold these together with my clamps here. And so we'll do that while we'll leave that to dry while I work on this other one. So like I said, I have the two of them, so just thinking do both of them.
Yes, I gave you.
And again, I'm just trimming down all the excess white on this. And then we're gonna dirty one of these up to see how it looks. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do that before I glue the head down, because if I don't like it, at least I've not attached it. So I'm gonna do that first. So, welcome into the Creative Kinship Crafter's Choice event today. It is a free group, and on Wednesdays is Crafter's Choice. It is hosted by Miss Tanya. So make sure that you are following the free group, getting to see all of the awesome creators from today and from the other days that they host events as well. So let's go ahead and dirty this one up and see how it looks, see if I like how it looks. Okay. Alright, so let me see. I do have some black soot here. And I do want to kind of give her like these droopy eyes going. So let's get some puffy paint out. So we're going to set that one to the side. We're going to play with this one for a bit. See how it does. And this is just a cardboard, a printed cardboard. That's all it is. So interesting. let's get us get this in here. Kind of, I'll make it look like an old doll. I think that's gonna be really fun to do. Make it look like it's one of those old porcelain dolls or something.
No, you have switching them.
Okay.
Yeah, you got 3 smart bulbs in there.
Where'd you put them?
2 there, 1 over there.
And that one. So that's 4.
Yeah, so Alexa, lights off.
It didn't cut anything over on that side.
Alexa, lights on. That's it, put it in there.
Okay. Thank you. Ah, okay. Oh, don't forget that litter box, please. Okay. Yes, you need one. So this is just the tulip dimensional fabric paint. And if you guys have ever seen me craft, you know that I like to use this stuff. So let's give her... Oh, wait a second. Before we do that, I have an idea. I'm gonna try some of this on here. So this is a crackle medium. Let me get a small brush and let's apply some of this on here and let's see how it does. Hello there, Miss Rosa. Welcome in, welcome in. Alright, so let's see how this does. I'm gonna try to apply this only where the face is. I'm kind of curious if this is gonna work. That's why I said let's play with this before I actually glue it on to the thing. So I'm just adding this crackle medium and I'm trying to apply it just where face is, not necessarily where the eyes are. And let's see if we can make her look like an old crackled porcelain doll. You know, once they start to age and they start cracking, like in all those little very creepy movies. Yeah, let's see if we can get that effect. I think this will, if it comes out, I think it's going to look really interesting. So I'm kind of curious. Let's see how it does. So welcome in, everybody. Welcome into the Creative Kinship event today. This event is hosted by Miss Tanya from Tanya's Creations, Crafting Creations, and today on Wednesday she hosts Crafter's Choice. So I figured I'd come on here and I'd play with y'all. And we'd play with these paper doll faces that I have. Well, they're on cardboard. They're not really paper. And I'm kind of curious if we can get this to work the way I envision it to work. Because, you know, sometimes we have these really great ideas as creators, and you know, sometimes they pan out and they look amazing, and then other times not so much. So that's why I said let's play let's play. Let's see how this works out. So this is from Pentart. This is called Crackle Medium. So that's what we're using. And let me get my little heat the tool thingy out here. And let's see if we can get this to crackle some. And then what we can do is we can come back in with like a wax to give it that crackle effect. I guess it all depends if this will work. So we shall see. Let's see. Oh, I'm trying to see if we see anything. Let's see what you'll see. I don't know if it's cracking or not. That's still sticky. And I am kind of doing it far away because this, at the end of the day, this is still paper. So I want to make sure I don't. It looks like I just put a varnish on the darn thing. Interesting. That's hard. That's not gonna work. And then I don't think I have green paint. I don't want green paint. I want some white paint. So let me get some white paint. Like I said, I wasn't sure if this was gonna work or not. That's why we come on here and we experiment. I was like, let's experiment together. Let's see how this does. I want to see. Let's see. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And that's fine. Maybe I have to leave this stuff on. Like I said, we're just playing around. Maybe probably not the most interesting thing to see, but you know, as creatives, this is how our process goes, or at least it does for me. You know, I get an idea and then I'm like, well, let's try it out. Let's see if it'll work. And if it does, awesome. If it doesn't, oh well. It is what it is, right? You know, I mean, it's easy to do always the stuff that we know, or the stuff that we know will work. It's always easy to do that. But what's the fun in doing the easy stuff? Let's play, let's experiment, let's figure out, you know, the things that we could we can play with, you know, and see if, like in my case, if my wild ideas will work. And so we, you know, and I'm of the mentality that why not bring my crafty friends along with me in this trial and error? Right? Because that's what it turns out to, is a trial and error. Because I mean, I could totally come in here and do a paper craft or a wooden kit or something of that nature that I know will work and come out cute. But let's try the stuff that I'm not 100% sure of. Plus, I always think it's fun to push yourself past your comforts. So, and the educational, right? Yeah, learn, you know, how do we say sometimes, learn what not to do. I come for the ride with me, and there will be many days that you will learn what not to do, because I goof up and I'm like, okay, well, don't do that. You know, just don't do that. Maybe let's try it a different way. So, yeah. You love my thought process? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. No, it's not always easy to be out of your, and I know, you know, especially some event coordinators are very like, it has to be, or you have to finish, and I'm very grateful that Miss Tanya's so patient with me. She knows I'm gonna come on here and I'm just gonna be me. I'm gonna be me, and we're gonna try this, and if it works, great, then I did something nice, and if not, I just taught y'all an hour of what not to do. So, okay, so now I didn't dry the medium, and I'm putting this right over it, so hopefully that'll work this time. And like I said, I'm trying to stay away from the actual eyes, because usually those don't tend to be like that. The eyes normally don't tend to crackle. I said normally, because obviously there's always exceptions to the norm. And then I'll come back and I'll draw on the nose and all that, because this paint obviously is not translucent like I would have hoped. And that'll be fine. I'll just come in and I just don't want to touch the eyeballs. But I will come in and I will do the eyelashes. See, we're starting to see some crackle. That's good. We'll see how this turns out. I think this is going to be a very interesting little project. Maybe I can do watercolors, so it'd be a little more translucent. Gotta figure that out. What can I use that would be a little more translucent for this process? Because right now she definitely gonna look creepy. All you're gonna see is eyes. So I definitely got the creepy down, because all you see is hair and eyes. So I definitely got that part. Like I said, we'll come in and we'll fix up all the necessary body parts that are being covered up right now. I am definitely getting that crackle effect, that's for sure. So that worked out. At least that part did. I'll put a little bit more heat, try to get it to finish, to dry. That's definitely gonna look creepy. For sure. See? Look at that. Alright, so we definitely have to let that dry a little bit better. I just don't want to keep on putting any more of the actual heat. Because again, this is paper at the end of the day. Cardboard is paper, so you still have to treat it as such. I know, right? See that? Now I just gotta draw the nose back on and the mouth. I'll give her some eyelashes, some eyebrows, so she doesn't look like too awful creepy. But she definitely got that porcelain crackle going. Maybe a little bit more than a regular porcelain crackle, but it's a crackle, all right. All right, now where is my wax? And what did I do with that? Because I need this. I need this. And I need my wax or some brown. And I don't have any water, do I? Oh well. It'll be fine. I definitely suggest having some water in your craft room. And so all I'm doing, this is actually ink. This is an ink pad. And I'm doing it this way because it's still sticky. And glue is not 100% dried yet. So I'm just going to dirty up the rest of her. Yeah, that definitely does look creepy. But yeah, she's still a good bit of wet. So we definitely gonna have to let this dry, because I can see where all the wet is on this. But yeah, that's what she's looking like. I gotta make her nose again. I gotta do her lips, outline her eyes, give her some lashes. But that definitely, see how it's still still wet. You guys can see the reflection there of the light. but that's what she's looking like. So that's definitely creepy looking. That is definitely creepy looking. Well, I have a few more heads, so I'm definitely going to be trying out a few different ways to do the crackle on them. But I do have a few of these, so I'm definitely going to be playing with it. Figure out what's the better way to go about doing that. For sure. Because that's going to look... So I'm going to wait to attach this just because I want to make sure that this is all dry. And I need to also paint the different things on here, but I can't do it while this is still sticky. So I have to wait for that to dry. So that's going to have to dry. In the meantime, while that's drying, let's bring back this one right here. Let's see how she's looking. See how she's faring out. Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna put some hot glue just to give it some extra hold on this thing right here. And yeah, I know they don't match up exactly the same, but that'll be alright. So now the question would be, like, how do I make some arms for her? She obviously needs some arms. So, should I make them out of... I was gonna say, should I make them like out of ribbon? But then I don't have the hands. As soon as this heat tool warms up, we'll be able to put a little bit of this stuff on here. So I'm gonna try to work on one of these eyes, and I'm just gonna use a Sharpie if I can find my fine tip Sharpie. Where did all my fine tip Sharpies go to? That's not a fine tip Sharpie. But it should work. So just come back in here and do the eyes. And we'll make some little eyelashes for her. So we got that. And the drawing shows that she has like 3 at the bottom. Let's see if we can do this one without messing up my Sharpie with this being wet. She looks like the kid that was playing with her thought she was like a drag queen or something and gave her gave her extra makeup or something. I don't know. That's what it looks like. And then, well, I definitely cannot do the bottom ones. So we got that. What I did want to do with my puffy paint, and hopefully this will work. I said it's all gotta dry anyways, so come in here with the puffy paint. And we'll do that over here as well. So she is crying, I guess. I don't know. Does that look creepy enough? Looks like she's got something gooping out of her eyes. I normally don't do like the horror stuff, but I think that's kind of cool. This is definitely interesting. For sure, for sure. I really need the bottom half to dry. I went a little too heavy-handed on that stuff. This is still so sticky. But yeah, so does that look like a creepy doll to you? She looked like she would be scary. I think so. And of course we gotta let all of that, you know, dry. Hello there, Miss Donna. Hello, friend. Welcome in. We are in the Creative Kinship event today. It is Crafter's Choice, and I decided to play with these cardboard doll heads that I had, and so far we've attached this one. I'm just adding some hot glue here so it'll hold a little more securely. So we've attached one set of heads to these crocheted, they look like they were like a pot holder or something of that nature. I've already got stuff on my brand new nails. So we did this one, and we were working on seeing how we could make one look creepy. And so this has got like crackle on it, and it's got some ink, and it's got some puffy paint on there. I still have to come back and like do the lips and the nose that got covered up. But I think she's definitely on her way to being a creepy doll, or at least a creepy doll head, which I think is kind of cool in a way. But yeah, dolls can be very creepy for sure. And I'm just adding some hot glue in here to give it some extra hold. I want to thank Miss Tanya for hosting these events on Wednesday. That is Crafter's Choice, and I want to thank you for always keeping me in mind and inviting me. I'm very grateful that I have friends who are like, hey, I'm hosting an event, do you want to come and join us? So thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate that. I appreciate it a lot. Where did my other one go to? Okay, so we're gonna let that dry because it needs to dry. But she's gonna stay like this. I'm not gonna touch her face. I think she's cute like that. I just have to figure out, like, do I want to add arms to her? And how do I want to go about doing that? That's gonna be the interesting thing with that. So that's what I gotta figure out with that one. Let's see. Okay, so we have that there. While all this stuff is drying, we're actually going to work on another little project since I still have a few minutes left. I have been making these rosettes, paper rosettes, and I've been using cupcake liners. So if you ever have extra cupcake liners, or if you need some paper flowers or paper rosettes, as you know we call them, for a specific theme, this is what they look like. So I've been taking these paper cupcake liners and turning them into these rosettes that you can add onto a project like a cluster or something of that nature. So the set came with those and with the picks for like the cupcakes, but I'm turning those into like the centers. So all you do with these is, and it's so simple, so you take your cupcake liner, alright, and you're going to actually flip it the other way so that you can actually pinch your backing, and you're going to essentially kind of twirl it and scrunch it up in the middle so that you can make that flower shape, right? So you can do these for any theme. You know, they have really cute Easter ones, Valentine's Day. There's almost for, you know, any season, there's always some kind of cupcake design, right? So you can grab those and you can use them in this manner. And then all I do is I come in the back, and once I've scrunched it up like that, I'm just going to put some glue down. Okay, so this is a way to, you know, I always end up buying cupcake liners, especially after the season when they're like a few cents, and that they're a quick paper project that you can use to add to your journals. You can add these to a card face, you know, just very simple, very easy to do. And like I said, you know, even when I do cupcakes, I never use all of them up. You know, they normally come with like a whole bunch of them, and it's too much to use. It's like I can't use all of that. So I was like, well, how can I craft with them? So I started making these, and I think they're a lot of fun to use, like I said, in your crafts, using what we have, because like I said, I would buy them to make the cute cupcakes for the kids, and then I'd be stuck with a whole bunch of cupcake liners, you know, and I'm like, what am I going to do with all these, you know? Of course, my kids got used to having, you know, Christmas liners in the summer on their cupcakes, because it was whatever whatever I had on hand, right? So we do that, and then with these ones right here, they have this. These ones are, sometimes they're wood, these ones are plastic. All you really need to do is like shimmy it out, and then I just flatten this down because all it is a sticker essentially. And we're going to add a little bit of glue to this and stick this down. Oh yeah, like I said, my kids got used to having the odd off-season things all the time because, hey, it's what mommy had. You want cupcakes? Yeah, sure, you'll get them, but you'll get them in Christmas liners, even though it's summertime. You know, because it's what we had on hand. It's a whole, you know, like I said, we have a whole bunch of them. Because what do? Maybe 2 dozen cupcakes, right? Is the batch of cupcakes is maybe 2 dozen. See, like when I do this one, I could put one of these on her dress. You know, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, my kids got used to it was like, hey, it's whatever. I'm like, you're eating the cupcake, not the decoration, so who the heck cares what the decoration looks like? Exactly, it's all about the cupcake. So it don't matter what wrapper's got. You're eating the cupcake, the icing, that's what matters. Or the muffin, whatever. You know? That's what matters. Is what's inside. So. Like I said, nothing fancy, just scrunch it up however you want. And then wherever there's a fold, put you some glue down. And that's why none of them are going to look exactly the same, because you're going to scrunch it up every time just a tad bit different, you know. Every time it's going to fall differently. So you're never going to have 2 that are exactly the same. Which is also really neat, I think, because it makes them, again, unique, right? When things are not exactly the same. Alright, so, and then again, just going to shimmy this out. So yeah, if you have kids or grandkids and you make them cupcakes, and then after that you have a whole bunch of cupcake liners left over, this is what you can do with them. You can come in and you can turn them into little paper flowers that you can use in your crafts. And if you don't have like the toppers like this, you could put a button here, you could put a punch, like a circle punch, flower punch, I mean, whatever it is that you've got, right? It's about using the things that we have, or at least that's what we tell ourselves, right? That we're using the stuff that we have. So that is, you know, another fun little project there that we can do. And if you guys have any ideas of what kinds of things I can do with these doll heads, like I said, I've got several of them, so I'm kind of trying to figure out what can I do with these. I ended up with a whole bunch of them. So yeah, so that way, you know, make those cupcakes, enjoy your sweet, and then take your leftover liners and make yourself something cute to use in another project, right? And you're also teaching the kids that, hey, you know, we're using all the stuff that we have, So you're gonna get some cute cupcakes, and then I'm gonna keep the liners to make myself some flowers or something. So yeah, so you see, I just come and I find where the lines are. Please stay tuned because we are going to go see Raven next. She is up after me. And this event is literally just starting, guys. So stick around for the day, watch the rest of the crafters, and see what they come up with. I'm sure they're going to be a lot more put together than me, and that is totally fine. Being put together is not one of my superpowers. And I definitely know that there are so many awesome creators out there that are, and that is perfectly fine, because I totally admire them for being able to, you know, do that. I'm still going to play with that doll head and figure out, once it's dry, how I'm going to do stuff with it. So, but please, yeah, if you guys have ideas of things that I could do with the doll heads, let me know. Send me a message. I would love to know your ideas, your thoughts on it, and you know, I might just try your idea out. So, because like I said, I have several of them, so nothing wrong with trying out different ideas, right? Again, I want to thank you guys for always being just so amazing and supportive. You know, I really do thank you guys a lot for coming and supporting this crazy little crafty fox, you know, and all of my wild ideas. Some work out great, some not so much, but that's all about the process. That's all about the process of creating. You know, even masterpieces were not created without some experimentation, right? Thank you, Miss Connie. And I appreciate you, my friend, so much. I really wish one day I could meet you in person and give you a big old hug. See if we can get one more done before we have to sign off for the day. And like I said, stay tuned to the Creative Kinship Event Group. They have an awesome lineup of crafters today, and they're going all the way to the evening, so there's plenty for you guys to watch and enjoy and get all those creative juices flowing, right? Get those ideas out, think about what you would like to do, and try it, you know? If you have an idea, try it out, guys. The most that could happen is it doesn't work out. And guess what? Now you know how not to do it. That's the way you gotta view life and view crafting, is if it doesn't work out, well, you just figured out a way not to do it, right? So who was it? It was Carter, right? That he invented, it wasn't peanut oil, but it was something else, and he found 200 different ways to use peanuts, and so we have peanut butter and, you know, all kinds of other things, because he was experimenting. It wasn't wrong things, they were They just weren't what he was trying to do, but doesn't mean that he didn't come up with new things. So, yeah. It's not a failure. It's just a way not to do it, or you discovered something different. Thank you so much, my friends, for hanging out with me. I do appreciate you guys more than you know, for putting up with my shenanigans and my just crazy, wild ideas. Thank you, Miss Tanya, for hosting this event and for having me. I appreciate y'all, and have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. We will be over in my group. We'll be having a birthday celebration bash because it's my birthday, y'all. So I hope to see you guys then. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Be blessed, be kind, know that you are loved and appreciated. Ciao.